Good morning. Well, we don't have very much to talk about today. Should be a light day. Everything's going great. We're doing great. We are so glad you're here. This is a perfect moment to look, and we're going to do a few things today. Take stock of where we've come. We've talked a lot about writing Louisiana's comeback story. 2024 was the first chapter. The question now is, what's the next chapter we're going to write? And that's the focus of our time together today. We've got great speakers from around the state and around the country, lots of opportunity to engage in breakouts. Before we dive into the program today, though, we'd like to begin our day in prayer and with a pledge and some opening remarks. And so you all know him. He is a world champion pistol shooter. He represents District 22 in the Louisiana Senate from New Iberia, serves on our state Doge committee, and has been a champion for free market values in his time in elected office. So please join me in welcoming Senator Blake Miguez.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here to welcome you to the Pelican Institute's 2025 Solutions Summit, the next chapter. It's an honor to be here today to work alongside so many of you in the Pelican Institute at the legislature. You are great allies at the Capitol in the fight for limited government and the real reforms that we need to move our state forward. As you know, Pelican has been talking over the last few years about the opportunities to write Louisiana's comeback story. And we made some great, meaningful progress towards that in 2024. While I'm excited to join you in celebrating the big wins that we had last year, now is not the time to sit back and relax. Now is the time to keep our foot on the gas pedal and keep fighting for transformational change for Louisiana families. I'll talk more about that in a moment. Before we do that, I'd like to ask you to stand up and join me in honoring our great country with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. If you could remain standing, we'll say a short prayer. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Our good Lord, I ask that you bless our state moving forward and give our legislature, our governor, and all of our great advocates and business people across this state the strength to move forward, to find solutions that'll make our state better for future generations. But let's remember one of the most important aspects of our team, the people that we serve back in our districts, the voters, the mothers, the grandmothers, grandfathers, fathers, and all their children and grandchildren who will work together to make our state truly prosperous in the future. I ask that you give everyone in our One Louisiana team the strength to move forward, and ask that you always bless our great state. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. As I said, it's an honor to stand before you today to talk about the future of our great state. The future that we can build together with common sense, fiscal responsibility, and the commitment to conservative principles. We are here today because we have a shared vision of Louisiana that thrives without overburdening taxpayers. A Louisiana where our families, our businesses, and our communities are free from the heavy hand of government overreach. And it all starts with one fundamental principle: spending restraint. Now, I know the idea of balancing budgets and cutting spending isn't always the most exciting conversation, but let me tell you, it's the most important one we're ever going to have if we want to truly reform and transform Louisiana for the better. The truth is, our state has been bogged down with excessive government spending that has been growing year after year, without regard for the taxpayers who fund it. This is why we, as conservative citizens, must fight for real spending restraint. If we want to make Louisiana more competitive, more prosperous, and less dependent on government, we must work to reduce the size of our state budget and get to the ultimate goal, a zero state personal income tax. Now, we made a lot of progress towards this goal with the comprehensive tax reform package we passed last year, but we still have a ways to go. And I'm encouraging that when we meet together to meet these challenges head on, continuing to redefine our tax system while educating the public on how these reforms will secure a brighter, more prosperous future for Louisiana. We can't do it without their help, and working together, we are truly one Louisiana. Imagine what that could mean for our families. Imagine the relief to your paycheck. Imagine the new opportunities for small businesses to grow and expand when they aren't burdened with excessive taxes. But we can't get there if we don't put the brakes on spending and prioritizing cuts to wasteful programs, inefficiencies, and bloated bureaucracies. That means we need to look at every single dollar in our state budget, question every expense, and eliminate programs that do not serve the people of Louisiana. Now, I'll tell you this. One of the biggest challenges that we face in Louisiana, just like many other states, is the constant battle against fraud, waste, and abuse. Taxpayers are footing the bill for these programs that are not operating efficiently or being taken advantage of. This is not just a problem of waste, it's a moral issue. It's our hard-earned money being squandered, and it's time to put an end to it. We need to hold every state agency accountable and ensure that the programs designed to help our citizens are doing just that, so we can make a way towards efficient, effective, and free from fraud. This is why I'm committed to ensuring that we not only reduce the size of government, but also restrain reoccurring spending. The spending that seems to grow uncontrollable year after year. By cutting waste, rooting out inefficiencies, and streamlining operations, we will have the resources to lower taxes to our hardworking families and job creators. It's time to make Louisiana a place where businesses want to relocate, where families want to grow, and where everyone has the opportunity to succeed. But it's not just what we can do for here in Louisiana that matters. It's the power we're gaining from the national government. Under President Donald Trump's leadership, we have seen significant strides being made at the federal level with the Department of Government Efficiencies, DOGE, and other reforms that focus on reducing the size and the scope of government spending. These efforts are returning power to the states where it belongs. And as a member of the Louisiana Fiscal Responsibility Program, what I like to call La Doge, I'm proud to work alongside other legislators and those in the private sectors to find efficiencies in state government, and complements my role in the Senate Finance Committee. Like so many of you, I'm excited about what's happening in Washington for a change. And I look forward to working with you, Pelican, Governor Landry, my colleagues at the Capitol, and others to continue this effort at the state level. There's no doubt about it, the time for transformational change is now, and working together, we can do it. With the momentum and the support pouring out from Washington under President Donald Trump and DOGE, and with your continued support, we can ensure that Louisiana will no longer be a state bogged down by red tape and government bureaucracy, but a state of freedom, opportunity, and prosperity. So in conclusion, I want to congratulate you again for all the great work over the last year and encourage everyone to keep the pressure on, keep pushing for reforms that will allow our state and its people to achieve its true purpose. Together, we will make Louisiana a shining example of what happens when conservative principles are put into action. Thank you, and God bless the great state of Louisiana.
Thank you. Well, it's a great way to kick off our time together. Thank you, Senator Miguez, for those remarks. Before we get into the program, I do want to acknowledge a few things. To first thank our sponsors, without whom this event would not be possible. We are so grateful for all of you, many of you here in the audience who have provided support or brought a table and come together to make this possible. So thank you so much to all of those sponsors throughout the day. I also want to point out this is just the beginning, really, of what's to come over the next couple of months and weeks. And we want to continue this conversation. So in your program and also here, you'll find a toolkit. So these are articles or reports or things that maybe we'll reference from the stage or in breakout sessions throughout the day. So this is going to be a place so you don't have to be burdened with lots of paper to take home. If you want to reference anything, you can scan the QR code here or in your program. Also, for the attorneys and CPAs in the room, God bless you. Married to an attorney, love you all. There is an opportunity all through today to earn CLE or CPE credit. So if you are an attorney or a CPA, please find my colleague Sarah Harbison. She's wearing pink today. She was at the check-in table. There's a form for attorneys to fill out, turn back into us, and we'll submit to the Bar Association for you. Same with CPEs. So just let us know anything that you need on that front, but please do take advantage of your in-person CLE time. I know those are valuable hours. Well, it's been an interesting 72 hours, to say the least, for those of us in the fight for freedom and free enterprise. And it's easy, I think, and our first session here this morning is going to be around this idea of DOGE and what does a comprehensive view of a pro-growth economy look like? What should those policies be? And I think for a lot of folks in the room, certainly there may be different opinions, but for a lot of folks in the room, the work done last session on tax reform and the continued efforts with the discussion around Amendment 2 have embodied many of those principles. It's easy to look at what happened on Saturday, maybe wallow a little bit. We don't have time for that, friends. And really look at what is ahead. Obviously, there will be reams of pages of analysis and commentary about the election. Here's some things we know already. One, we saw a lot of money and effort come in from the opposition to turn out votes. Orleans Parish turned out a higher percentage of voters than in the gubernatorial election. But that wasn't the deciding factor. It was certainly a factor. But we also know the effort is not done. There are other ways to accomplish it. We've got to come back together as a state, as a movement, collect the information from stakeholders, from voters, and try to better explain and persuade that streamlining our state constitution, that moving things into statute, that paying off debt, that these are good things. And at lunch today, we'll present a poll that will be very interesting to look at in contrast to Saturday's election results. What we see is the majority of voters in Louisiana support the core principles of limited government, constraining spending, all of those principles that many of us have fought hard for. So the question is, we've got to get better at our political tactics. We've got to get better at educating and persuading voters. And we've got to have solutions that resonate with the problems and challenges of our fellow Louisianans as we move forward. We also, however, should celebrate, and part of today is about celebrating what has been done. I mentioned at the beginning, this was the first chapter. Now we need to write the next. It was a big year last year. The passage of LA Gator and the pathway to universal education freedom, putting Louisiana in the driver's seat and families in control of their children's education. Major tax reform. We're going to hear from former Mississippi Speaker Philip Gunn. We have all seen the news out of Mississippi over the last couple of weeks with a plan to get their income tax to zero. Now, here's the good news. Our efforts over the last year may even be better than where they are now, with one exception. And that is the dedicated plan and pathway to get to a zero income tax. That's what's next for us. To constrain spending, to do the right things to streamline government, consolidate programs that actually have outcomes for our voters and taxpayers, while we continue to lower the tax burden on our families, on our job creators, and on every citizen of Louisiana. That work has begun. We have made tremendous progress, but it is far from over. So if we take a lesson from today, what I hope we end with, and we can toast this and discuss at our reception at the end of the day, what I hope we can take away is the courage to continue to keep our foot on the gas pedal, the encouragement to continue to push forward, the knowledge that our voters across the state actually agree with these ideas, and leave here energized to take on this effort. We owe it to our kids, our grandkids, our friends and neighbors who've had to leave Louisiana for other opportunity to get this right. We owe it to our kids and grandkids to create a better Louisiana than the one we inherited. And here's the truth. We're coming up on the 100th anniversary of the Huey Long era. That has left us at the bottom of every good list, the top of every bad list, despite having natural resources any state, any country would love to have. 5 of the top 15 ports in the country, the most active natural gas sector, some of the most oil refineries of any place in the country, the mouth of the Mississippi River. There is no reason we should be falling behind. There is no reason we shouldn't be the dominant player in opportunity for every citizen, economic growth. It's because of 100 years or more of bad policy decisions. The good news is we can change those. And thank you. And that's the journey that began this year. That's the journey we will continue to write, the story we will continue to write. So I'm so grateful for you being here, for you giving a day of your time. I hope this is fun. I promise you a drink at the end. We're gonna have a great time. Before we get into our program, as you know, not only do we have some great leaders right here in Louisiana, but we have some great leaders who are representing us in Washington, D.C. And boy, is Louisiana outkicking its coverage in Washington. And of course, they're in session this week, so they couldn't be here, but we have a special message from a good friend of the Pelican Institute.
Hey everybody, Speaker Mike Johnson here. Welcome to Pelican Institute's 2025 Solutions Summit. I wish I could join you all in person, but it's a real pleasure to address some of Louisiana's best leaders and brightest minds. Pelican has long been a champion of individual liberty and free enterprise, and of course, a defender of freedom across the state and in our nation's capital. And let me tell you, there has never been a better time to advance these important causes. With President Trump back in the White House and Republicans now in control of both chambers of Congress, we have a real opportunity, a generational opportunity to restore American greatness and the promises of the American dream. In just over 2 months, President Trump and House Republicans have taken action to strike down regulations and restore American jobs and unleash American energy dominance. And most recently, bring education back to the states where it belongs. And we're just getting started. These are principles and priorities we've had for a long time, and now is the moment. And I'm grateful that all of you have gathered today to discuss the importance of lowering taxes and reining in government spending and making Louisiana a more prosperous, safe state to raise a family. We all believe in this. Now's our time. And I so encourage all of you to stay involved in this cause. Let's continue to make Louisiana the best place to live, start a business, and raise a family. I've done that, and I'm glad all of you are as well. Thank you so much for all you do, for everything that you're involved in. God bless our efforts.